Hey guys, welcome to Quantum Nomads TV. It's Therapeutic Thursday. Why don't we just put where we're from in the chat? Let's see where everybody's from first, and I'll see if I can keep up with you guys. We got Auckland, New Zealand, California, Illinois, Virginia. We got Georgia, Florida, Brisbane, Australia. We got Canada. We got Canada again, New Zealand again, Indiana, Montreal, Quebec, that's in Canada, Colorado, Washington, Minnesota. We got Missouri in the house, United Kingdom, South Carolina. We got the Mississippi coast, Michigan. We got Jamaica. We got New Orleans, Christchurch, New Zealand. We got Snohomish, Washington. We got Queensland, that's in Australia. And wow, that's a tough one. Anyway, Wisconsin, Orleans, Virginia. We got people from all over the world as usual, and it's windy somewhere. Over where Simon is, I think. It's pretty windy there, but we got Fiji in the house. Wow, cool.
Wow.
That's awesome. North Carolina. So, hey, welcome everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good tomorrow for everyone on the other side of the world. And it's great to have you here. If you're brand new here, just put 111 in the chat, just so we know we can welcome you here. Just put 111 if you're brand new here. And we're going to be talking about a technology today. It's a really cool quantum wellness technology. Before we do that, I'm just going to share a quick disclaimer. The limbic arc technology that we're going to be talking about today isn't intended to diagnose, cure, or treat any disease or medical condition, but what you're going to be listening to is people's personal experiences with the technology itself. Hey, welcome to all the new people in the house. This is a really cool place to be. It's really positive, as you're going to find out. We're just a bunch of loving, caring people. And if you're new here, that means someone loves you, because we tell everyone, go share the love. So they shared it with you. They care about you. And that's why you're here. So let's start with some favorite boosts and why. Let's go to Simon. What's your favorite boost and why?
What's up, everyone? How's it going? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, perfectly.
Cool. I'm on energy and I can't sleep. And when I do sleep, I sleep at weird hours. I'm not worried about it too much because I'm not working because of this virus that's happening. But this energy is just, all I'm doing is just walking around. I'm walking around in strange hours of the day. No, I love it. It's pretty cool. It's better than going on drugs. This is an awesome high, but you know, there's a lot of things I want to work on. There's a few things that's wrong with me. So slowly but surely, I want to get to know each one of these little characters that we have here on this limbic arc. So I'm looking forward to jumping on the focus, because that's one thing I need to do in life, is focus and see what's in front of me, and the children that's around me. I gotta make sure that they do what they have to do, and you know how it goes, and spread the good news, because this is totally different. So yeah, no, cool. I'm enjoying the journey, and I'm just grateful that I'm amongst you brilliant, beautiful people. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys.
Thank you for sharing, man. I know exactly what you're going through. I had the same experience with energy, and you're gonna love focus. You're gonna love it. Hey, Ron, what's your favorite boost and why?
I would have to say that my all-time favorite boost, of course, was my pain, because it eliminated, 63 years of the battle with using pain. Now I use the custom is my go-to. I found out that if I do my custom all the time, okay, I don't have to use the pain like I did in the beginning. Now I use it very sporadically, but between the two, I'm just having a ball. I can't say enough. I love it.
Awesome. Thanks, Ron. How about Linda? What's your favorite boost and why?
Hey, good morning, everyone. I did say yesterday that the custom boosters, but I realized I put on allergy. And the last time I put on allergy, I didn't want to turn it off because I felt so good. So I carried that for about a week, and I'm doing the same thing with this one too. But we all know Our bestest boosters sharing the love. Healing, healing.
Right on. Super awesome. Thank you, Linda. Don Hamilton, what's your favorite boost and why?
Good morning. Yes, my favorite boost is still cardio, but I got to say I did a custom yesterday and there were 37 ingredients before I got down to 80%. So I don't know if that's good or bad or just the way it is, but that's the way it was. Thanks.
Cool, Don. And just so you know, mine's about there too. When I do 80%, it's around 37 to 40.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all good, man. That's cool. Bill Patterson, what's your favorite boost and why?
My favorite is pain relief,
How come?
because it helps me it helps me with my pain in my foot and my legs.
Right on, man. You're sounding great. You're looking great. We're glad to have you here, man.
I had a presentation today for about 15-20 minutes, so I'm doing pretty good with my voice.
Right on. Good job, man. That's super cool. Super cool. How about Harvey? What's your favorite boost and why? Oh, you're muted, Harvey. There you go. Oh, there you go.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is the with the Spark Scan and the custom, and just usually I go down to 80%. Last time I just picked the top 10. That was yesterday. I would keep keeping that on for 2 weeks and doing it for several months. And my general health has been increasing more and more all the time. So I'm fired up about that. But yesterday or the day before, I heard something about the last week that somebody did both pain and inflammation together, 2 different things. And so I said, well, I've had a stiff neck and back that's been the result of an injury I had as a kid and been bugging me for 20, 30 years. And so I turned both of them on yesterday. I got up this morning, the pain in my neck is almost all gone, nowhere near as bad as it had been, the same way in my lumbar area. So I'm going to experiment to see which one it is. I'm surprised that I have to do that, because if I do a Spark Scan with all the ingredients, it seems like it ought to pick them all up, but I don't know. I just play around with it. I love it. It's good stuff.
Right on. Cool. Thanks for sharing, Harvey. Love your background.
Yep. Yeah, isn't that nice? I don't live there now.
Hey, B, what's your favorite boost and why?
Well, I think still my favorite boost has got to be the calm and the, I actually put pain with it as well, but golly, I've had such great results with, I used to have those headaches and neck aches, the vision clusters, and I can't tell you how great, that calm just keeps all that stress out of my neck and head area. It's got to be that, but I've also lost my vertigo, which I had all the time. I had that positional vertigo. I just lived with it. I just dealt with it. Any weird position, my head would get in, the room would spin, but that's gone. So I don't know if the custom took it away. I don't know if the pain and calm takes it away, but I'm just so happy that it's gone. I'm really grateful. I'm so happy for this.
Right on.
That's
We're
it.
happy too. And
Thanks.
yeah, that's awesome. That's so cool. Thank you everyone for sharing. It's really important to share. Even like Harvey was talking, he heard someone else talk about pain and inflammation together, and so he tried it, right? So if it's really important for us to share, no matter whether we think it's important or not. It is. Trust me, it is. Everything everyone has to say is important. And okay, one more. Dana, what's your favorite boost and why?
Hey there. Well, so far, a couple of weeks ago, or 10 days ago, I decided to run, I customized, like we all do. But that's when my daughter, I was sharing that story that my daughter had gotten to just this, so stressed, she could hardly keep 2 feet on the ground at the same time. And she couldn't complete her sentences, and she was so freaked out. And I put her on the custom and the calm and hair, skin, and nails one that was up there, or hair, skin, and sinuses. And today is the day they all expire. And yesterday was her 22nd birthday. And I'm telling you, the reason right now I'm so grateful is because the ones that I have used on her, the Calm and the Custom, and whatever worked from that other one, has made her birthday week, and believe me, she loves a whole week to celebrate, her birthday week so peaceful and so fun and such a great time without the standard, oh my gosh, stresses like last year. Whew. So I'm very, very, very grateful for the Custom and the Calm. And today I'm going to redo mine and hers. And I'm pretty sure she doesn't want hers to run out, just because I think she knows too.
Man, that's great news. That's so
Yeah.
good to hear.
Truly.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Okay, so I'm going to introduce a really good friend of mine now. I'm really excited about this, not just because he's a really good friend of mine, but when he talks, I usually take notes. He's been in this industry for quite a while, and he's done really, really well. Some people strive to make 6 figures a year. He's made multiple 6 figures a month and made millions in this industry. And this isn't a business call. But you know what? He's built teams of hundreds of thousands of people. The guy's got such a big heart. Like, I know him. He just cares about people. And it's just about how many people he can help. And you're going to hear that pretty soon. When I introduced him, I got the privilege of sharing this with him. He's my friend. And when I shared it with him, he'd actually been taking like probably about 1.5 years off. He went and bought a dream home for him and his family, and with his wife and 11 kids. Well, I'll let him tell you about all that stuff. But yeah, he's got a beautiful dream home, and he just spent time hanging out with his family and loving it. So it wasn't like he was even looking for anything. And but yeah, there's a whole really cool story to this. What I would do, I don't know what he's going to share about, but I would have a pen and paper ready just in case. I'm not kidding. Like, he could drop some real golden nuggets that will really help you be able to share it with a lot of people, because that's really what it is about, right? Sharing the love. This guy is a master at sharing the love. So without further ado, here's my good friend Bob Byrum. And Katrina, I see you with them too. Hi, Katrina.
Well, thanks so much, Daniel, and I appreciate you having us on today. I'm going to switch screens over here. Okay, that helps us a little bit. And I'm going to go, I think you're right, Daniel. I would have a pen and paper. Thanks, Ron. Yeah, we're sharing the love. And I'd have a pen, because usually on here we have testimonies and those kind of things, which we've already shared some of those. But I'm going to go over some different stages that people go through in their decision-making process. And the reason that I know that is because I went through the same decision-making process. And I'm going to share with you what I went through. I'm going to share with you some of the friends that kind of were the tipping point at different points. And I'm going to share with you a whole gamut of things. So sit back, relax, and hopefully enjoy. And but yeah, this is my wife, Katrina. Say hi, hon.
Hi, everybody.
She's going to be joining us today because she was one of those big parts of that influence that pushed me over the edge, and I'll share with you, some of those things as well. But the main thing, or just so you know, before we get started, I've shared this before, but a lot of you weren't around when I shared this. But Katrina and we have 11 children. So isn't she amazing? Yep, she's amazing. And I won't share what Michael shared with us last week, but yeah, we deliberately had 11 children. They're ours by birth, and it's incredible. Now we have we just had our 12th baby, and my daughter Bethany was grandbaby, excuse me. Oh yeah. Whoa.
No,
Never mind. Oh, I have an announcement to make. We just had our 12th grandbaby, and our 13th is on the way right now. So we're on our way to 100. That's coming. But we've definitely enjoyed the family life. We've traveled a lot. We've been living our dream, and we're thankful for these opportunities that we've had. But that was one of the things that I wanted to share is why Limbic Arc? Why are we here with the Quantum Nomads? And, it started off with Daniel, my trusted friend. When you know that someone has integrity, stick to those people. I'm telling you, they're gold. And Daniel is one of those people. So when Daniel came in and shared with me, what this was, I'm going, man, that's kind of out there, Daniel. But nonetheless, if you say it works, I know that you're not going to steer me wrong. You're not trying to sell me anything. You're just telling me, hey, this thing's, you didn't believe it, but now you used it and it works. And so that was really what got me to this first stage, which is the curious stage. And I think most of us go through that where, and quite honestly, when we share it with people, we want them to be curious. We want them to say, what the heck is this thing? Or how does it work? Or, all these things. And so that really was the first phase. So what I did is I purchased it, and I purchased one for my wife, and I said, here, figure it out. Let's see how this thing works. And she did, and it was interesting because we were at a place in our lives where, we wanted to help people, but we didn't really know how. And so really what happened is my wife, Katrina, she tested the technology and said, wow, it worked. So this took me to stage 2. Stage 2 is interested. I went from curious, okay, Daniel, you're out there, to really it works, hon? You've seen some results? Okay, now I'm interested. So that's the second stage. And I'm gonna have Katrina tell you her experience that got us there. So go ahead, hon.
Well, it wasn't that fast, actually. He said, here, you're signed up. And I was like, what? Well, I didn't even understand what it was signing up for. I didn't know what it was. So I ran it for a week. I did digestion. This is before the custom. I didn't even do the custom.
We didn't even know what a custom was yet. And
I went, well, if this works, it's going to have to slap me in the face, because I am not going to wake up and go, do I feel better? Do I not feel better? I'm actually a pretty healthy person. I don't have a lot of issues. And that's why I haven't, spoken on here, because I thought, gosh, I can't, mine's not that big of a deal. But I was talking to Daniel earlier today, and there are people out there that maybe don't have a lot of issues, but they still have stuff going on, and that it limits their quality of life. So anyway, it was about a week, and I realized I had not been, I always take enzymes before I eat. My digestion is really weak, and I take them with me in my purse, everywhere I travel, go to church, when we eat out, when we go anywhere. I have my little bag of enzymes, and I even share with people, So
we have been a huge supporter of the health and wellness industry, and we buy from our friends, and we had a closet full of it. I'm like, what is all that? Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I realized, and digestion oil, I believe in the essential oils. I love them. They're amazing. So I have used them frequently, all the time, with my kids, with myself. And I realized I hadn't been grabbing the oil. I hadn't been needing to digest my food. It was digesting. I could hear it. I could feel my stomach moving. It was doing something. And that's when I realized the first thing was, I think this is working, because it's been a while and I haven't grabbed any of those things. So that was the first thing. And then another issue that I was having, and it is like the onion effect. When you do the custom, we finally got on the custom, and it starts dealing with stuff, the top stuff, and then it just peels away. But I had a lot of pain in my neck. I heard someone say on there, who was that, Linda? Somebody, pain in the neck. I had a lot of pain, and I'd wake up with pain. It's not fun to wake up with pain. You all know that, who have pain. But, and I'd have to we have this little, actually it's not little. Yeah. I do this machine thing on my neck, and I do oils and CBD oil. And
has her husband rub her every day.
Because it doesn't.
Every day.
A lot of times I just dealt with it. I just lived with it. It was just part of my life, And
did I mention every day? Yeah, every day.
And you get accustomed to that, and you think, well, this is normal. or this is my normal, right? So you just keep living with it. And I never really, I don't even take aspirin. I mean, I just don't. So I put on pain relief, and it was working for a few days, but then it kind of came back, and I was like, what's going on here? So then I put on a Calm, and Calm became my friend. I love Calm. It not only took the pain away from my neck, but it actually helped me when dealing with stress, when having a house full of kids and family that needed to be fed and cleaned up after and whatever. And, you know, Carl, I know you've had a lot of stress, and I can relate to that and that anxiety.
Carl's a different guy, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big time.
So that became wonderful for me. I just want to keep it on all the time. And then I had an injury, and I'd fallen, and I like tore my shoulder. I mean, the tissue in here. I didn't go to the doctor, you know, I just don't, but I hurt it when I fell.
Injury, not hurt it. You injured yourself.
I did.
Yeah.
And I could not sleep at night. I did not put the pain relief on until 2 a.m. Dumb me, right? Probably because I was using everything else, like digestion, and I didn't know how to double up on everything just yet, but, you know, I learned. And it kicked in within like 15 minutes, and I was able to go to sleep. I was so grateful. I had to keep it on. And it took, gosh, about 2 weeks to really get to a point and where I could be normal, but not normal, because if I lifted it, it would hurt. So, but it's almost like, it's like 95% better now, and it's been about a month. But I don't know. Someone told me that it could take like 6 months for that kind of stuff to heal. When you're dealing with soft tissue that's torn, it takes longer than bones even. So, but with me, it was, like I said, about a month now. The other thing that probably I'm the most excited. Am I talking too long?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. The other
But
thing.
we have other people that are going to share.
Okay, I'm almost done. The other thing is cardiovascular is my favorite. I just keep remembering all these things that keep coming up. I think I'm not that unhealthy, you know, but my heart, I had a racing heart. And that started happening after we moved here. I had maybe 3 incidences where it put me down. One was Christmas Eve. And I was in bed with my heart racing all night long. And it's scary. Oh my gosh, it's so scary. And I don't know what's going on. I think my mother-in-law has tachycardia, and she was saying, sounds like you might have that. What the heck that is, you know? I thought it was like chiropractically related, because when I would bend over, I could feel my heart like working harder, and it would usually kick in when I had bent over to pick something up, so I thought it had to do with movement. I didn't understand what, because I could be calm, at least I thought I was calm, and I'd bend over and boom, I feel it just start beating really, really hard. And as soon as I noticed, I lie down, and sometimes I could catch it and sometimes I didn't. But and to go all night long with a racing heart is exhausting.
We're talking about like 140, 150 beats a minute. We're talking boom, you know, I'm counting it going, uh-oh.
Most people go to the doctor for that kind of thing, probably. But I just laid there and prayed and, you know, got through it. But it's exhausting. So anyway, as soon as I put this cardiovascular on, I could feel that my heart was working hard, even when I didn't have a full-blown racing heart, like when I bent over or when I walked up the stairs, or, you know, any type of exerting would cause my heart to feel kind of sluggish, and I'd get winded and out of breath. Apparently I have a weak heart or something going on. I've had 11 babies. That might have something to do with it. I don't know, my circulation and all that. But as soon as I put that on, maybe 2 days after, I was kind of catering to not bending down like I don't do certain things because I cater to that, and I don't want to feel that exhaustion. But I was realizing I'm not feeling that anymore. I'm not short of breath climbing the stairs. I'm not, I don't feel the pumping when I bend over, you know. I don't know if I can explain it or not, if you guys understand, or if anybody else has had this issue.
So with the cardiovascular.
But it stopped all that. Cardiovascular just stopped it all, and I had more energy. One thing that was interesting is I did feel my heart beating a little fast, just a tad bit faster at times, but it wasn't, I was waiting for it to get irregular, you know, but it just stayed. It was almost like my heart started balancing. It was getting stronger, so I could pump more blood and do more and not get tired. And I still feel that way. And I never have had it come back since I did that. And I love it. I mean, that's a scary feeling. I really want my heart to be strong and healthy, and I want everyone else's heart to be strong and healthy. So that's my story.
So that's it for you, for us. Back to you, Dan. No, just kidding. I'm just messing with you. Hey, so the next, well, and here's the thing, you know, that's Katrina's beautiful, and she takes care of our family and has been, you know, our health guru in our family forever. I mean, we've been married 28 years now, and she's done all that. So that's why I knew if I would give her, you know, this crazy app thing, that she'd be able to put it to the test, which she did. But the next phase I went through, the third phase is the engaged phase, engaged. And that is because Daniel started calling me up and saying, man, this is doing the craziest thing for people. You should hear this, Bob. This is doing this and that. And one of those guys was Carl. And he was saying, man, Carl, he had this diabetic nerve pain in his feet, and it's gone. I'm like, really? Wow, that's crazy. So I was going to have Carl just share for a couple of minutes here about his experience with the limbic arc as well. So Carl.
Awesome. Thanks, Bob. Yeah. You know, the whole thing, the stress was the big thing for me. That's what Dan first noticed in me and said, you got to get on this for the stress. And that was the first thing I got on to, because I was a basket case back in December, literally. I was literally losing it. I had a very, very bad year. And so he noticed that and said, this can help you. So he convinced me, after talking to me for a couple of weeks, because he started back early December, and it took me till the 18th of December for me to make a decision. So I went on it, and the first thing I put on was stress, but I also had this diabetic nerve pain, like Bob was saying, was really bad. So I threw the pain on, right? And then I ran both of those, and it was a good time because it was just before Christmas. Snowstorms were coming. My kids were coming in from out of town. So I needed that on. And literally within 24 hours, what had really happened, the stress was working. I was getting less and less stress, but it was my diabetic nerve pain. It's that pins and needles, that neuropathy that was driving me nuts. And it was almost gone in 24 hours. And 48 hours later, gone. I mean, I have not had my diabetic nerve pain in 4.5 months. And I dealt with that for 6 years, right? Every single day, just like Ron and a few others have been dealing with pain for years. I haven't had any. And now, you know, I mean, I call myself Cool Cat Carl now because I'm just chilled all the time, you know. And it's funny because everything equates to everything that's going on. My vision, you know, I'm not going to get into the whole story, but my vision has had a complete turnaround on this. So, you know, you got to listen to the rest of what Bob's going to talk about, because I'm telling you, there are miraculous things happening with this, with different people. And congrats, Katrina, on the success you're having with it. That's just so awesome. Back to you, Bob.
Awesome. And yeah, and Katrina and I both, and Daniel, can tell you that Carl is a totally different person than he was, you know, a year or two ago. You know, something would set him off and that would be it. And it's like, man, who is this guy? So it's good to get to know you here, Carl. But you know, and so somewhere in this process, I'm going to say process because I'm in the U.S., not in Canada. They say process, and but so I joke with Dan and Carl all the time on that. But so now I'm using this. Katrina's having experience. I'm hearing things out there that Daniel's sharing with me. And meantime, I go skiing with my wife. My wife's sister lives in Vail, Colorado. Yeah, well, I do. Or I did. Anyway, I've been skiing for almost 50 years. And so, I love the slopes, but there was a challenge. A year and a half ago, I injured myself badly playing basketball with my teenage boys. I came down on my knee and it popped, and I went, uh-oh. I go, this one's going to take a while. I knew it. I was down. And I ended up tearing an ACL and a meniscus in my knee, had an MRI done and went, uh-oh, surgery. No, I don't want to do surgery. It's stem cell stuff. I'm just like going, well, let's, sorry about that, had calls come in, but I just went, let's play this one out. So a year and a half, babying the thing, all this, I could walk on it and that kind of thing. But now I'm going to put it to the test. A year and a half later, so this was in January, early January, we went to see her sister in Vail. And I said, that's it, I'm skiing. I don't know if my leg's going to fall off or what's going to happen. But one of the main things about that wasn't the pain, because I wasn't experiencing pain, but the pain that I was experiencing was when it would come out, and it came out like 3 times after that, and it was excruciating. I mean, it's like, just, I don't know, it's terrible. So I didn't want that to happen again, but now I'm going skiing. So I skied with a brace, but the thing was, I do what I say is I'm off the couch. So a year and a half of basically an active lifestyle, playing basketball with the boys, going to the gym, all the stuff we were doing, biking and all that. And now I'm not doing anything. And I'm going to Vail, Colorado to go skiing. So we went there, I put a brace on, had metal in it so my leg wouldn't fall off, but I didn't know how I was going to hold up with my physical strength. So I skied the first day with my 21-year-old son, and we skied morning till night. It was great. My leg felt good, and I had good energy. We skied the whole time. And then the next day we skied at Vail, which is just a huge mountain, and it's got fast lifts, and you can ski till you die. And that's what we did. Morning till night, we went for it. And I mean, flat out had a good time. We went with my sister's wife's husband, 37 years old. This is the kind of guy that he skis the whole day and then goes home and takes the kids and the dog on a 3-mile jog. So this guy's in shape. He knows what he's doing. And we had a great time. We skied the whole time till they closed. And I'm thinking, okay, rigor mortis is going to set in, baby, because I just went for it. So, but what happened was that didn't happen. The next day we had to head back home because it was just a short visit, and Adam was going out again, and I felt good. I mean, I could have went out another day, no problem. Now this might not mean a lot to a lot of people, but in my 20s and 30s, I would have to get in shape to go skiing like that. Early in the season, like start in September. So in December, you're, in shape to be able to handle that. I hadn't done nothing in a year and a half, virtually nothing, and came out of that skiing like I did, and then didn't get sore afterwards. So after it was all said and done, we got back home, and I'm thinking, okay, anytime now, maybe the next day. It didn't happen. And I was running cardiovascular and inflammation and probably energy and digestion or something, but the bottom line with all of that is that's when I was amazed. So I'm now engaged in this, right? And I'm hearing these things about Carl. I'm hearing these things about Cosmos, about her eyes. If you've been on here or haven't, she shared about her eyesight and how that's got better, and that was incredible. So Cosmos, why don't you share with us kind of your experience? Because you were there from the very beginning when I started coming on these calls.
Hi, everybody. Well, let me start off by saying Carl and I have been in various opportunities together for at least 3 or 4. And so when he came through to me and said to me, look, you want to take a look at this thing? And he said, it's Quantum Nomads. I should join the group Quantum Nomads. And the first thing that occurred to me, nomads, it means that you're wandering all over the place and not settling anywhere. So, and he says, no. And then he explained to me, okay, this is the name. And, it did his explanation. And I thought, and then I went in and I looked at the program. And I jumped right in because my curiosity gets me every time. I'm a curious person. So I will go looking at things. And so when this came up and I looked at it, I went in and I immediately, he spoke to me first week in January, and I joined immediately. And I went in and I looked at vision, and I looked at focus, and I looked at inflammation, because I'm in the habit of walking for years and then choosing to do exercise afterwards. But since returning to Jamaica, I never did any of those things. So I decided I needed to go back and start walking at least. And I did that and walked for 3 hours the first day, which was a big mistake. I started walking like a duck for days. And so what happened is my groin, my back, I have a hairline fracture in my back, and an old one, and everything acted up. So I was having difficulty walking. And so what happened then, I had to come off for a couple of days, and then I would insist on continuing to walk, because I felt if I didn't, everything would kind of seize up. So my knees gave me problems, and I've had knee problem over the years. It goes away, it comes back. I've had physiotherapy, that kind of stuff. But this was pretty bad. And so one of the things that I did with that was immediately put on inflammation, because of my belief about inflammation and the effects it has on your body. So when I put that on, surprise, surprise, within 24 hours, that's gone. The pain that I had in my knee went away. I never had to put on at any point in time, put on pain, just inflammation. But that's how it works for me. And then I put on vision. I went into vision. And vision for me, even though now I would look at customs, because custom is giving me a whole lot of information and sort of bringing me to the point where I recognize certain things that I have been ignoring, so I can focus on those things. But vision, when I put vision on, my right eye has membrane and cataract, and my left eye has mild glaucoma. But the right eye was almost half closed, and there was a tightness in the corner of the eye. And within 3 days, I thought to myself, this is strange. I didn't feel the tightness anymore. And I thought, well, okay, let's watch it. And then in about a week or so after that, the eye felt more relaxed. I didn't feel the pressure on the eye. And it started opening up a bit more. 2 weeks into it, I have a problem when I drive at nights. And when I drive at nights, the car lights come at me like starlights and blinds me. And so I stopped driving at nights. If I had to go anywhere, I had to ask somebody to come and pick me up. And then 2 weeks into that, almost a month actually into that, somewhere between 3 to 4 weeks, I happened to have gone into Kingston, and it's an hour and a half drive back if you don't use the highway. So I was on my way in, scrambling to get in before it got dark. And I got caught because of traffic. So it started getting dark and I started to worry. But then there's a place called Fern Gully, which winding roads like S-bends. And I was coming. So when a car comes around the corner, it hits you, the light hits you. And I realized that it never troubled me. I was coming through Fern Gully and the lights never bothered me. And I said, wait a minute, this is interesting. And I got home fine. And then within a week or so later, I was back on the road and I was able to drive. So now I drive at night without an issue. So I don't have a problem with lights, the car lights affecting me. And then another thing to do with vision, because this is really the top of my list. When I usually see letters started getting a bit foggy before. And now I find that I can read letters that are smaller, much clearer. So for me, I have a sharper vision in that sense. And of course, my eyes are open up now. The right is almost the same size as the left. So, and I still have 20/20 vision. I don't know, with all this problem, I still have 20/20 vision. So I'm waiting well, if I can go in August to hear what my ophthalmologist says. But then I also use focus. And focus for me, that I believe, I'm a believer in focus, because it helps you to, once you settle in to do something, the time goes and you're not even aware of it. So, and of course, I've also tried cardiovascular and I've tried others. But now what I am doing is focusing on the custom boost. Because when I go through the 90% down to 80, and a lot of them I find in the 90%. And when I look at the details of the ingredients, I realize there's some things that I had a suspicion about that I had been ignoring. So now my decision is look at the custom and then pick out the things that occur more than once and start with those. And basically that is my plan. So with all these new ingredients that are included, I have a custom boost running out in about a day, and I plan to do just that. So this for me is the greatest opportunity I have come across, because overall I feel well, very well. So I have no complaint, and I always like to talk about my feel-good feeling. So that's about it.
Awesome. Thanks so much for sharing, Cosmos, again. So you can see where all this was heading. And then after all of this, I came across a gentleman that Daniel connected me with by the name of Ron Spence. So Ron, he said, man, this guy is just over the top. We got to, hear from him. So we got on a phone conversation. I put him on a three-way with a friend of mine. And for the next hour and a half, he didn't take a breath, and we listened and were blown away. And so that got me to the next stage, which is the committed stage. So that is the fourth stage, which was, committed, because I was listening to Ron. So Ron, are you on here with us, bud?
I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, terrific. Why don't you share with us? Because, you're the master.
Well, now, someone invited me on the Zoom meeting. Who's Bob Byrum? Okay, just pulling your leg. So, this is interesting because so many times, and I've had this experience so much over the last few years, where, in fact, I was sharing it the other day with somebody, a gentleman who was introduced to this. He totally didn't believe it. The only reason why he tried it out is because his friend who wanted to bring him on board knew that he needed it, and he said, look, I'm going to pay for it. Just try it out. And, I've had so many experiences just like that one, where after the very skeptical person used the technology, within days, I'd be hearing from that person saying, in fact, I'll tell you what this guy said. He had some major serious health problems. I'm not going to go into it because they're real serious. And he was living at the hospital pretty much. And after several days, I get a call from this guy, and he had this is a professional network marketer. He had 5 new people on the phone with him. And he says, Ron, I've got all my friends on here. What the hell is this about? He says, look what it did to me. And he shared with me all the statistics, the reports back from this doctor, and how much better he's feeling. These are fun conversations, because this guy was probably the most skeptical guy I've ever come across. And here he's the biggest cheerleader. And so we look at this technology. I look at, for example, my relationship with Bob and Daniel, and I was doing this by just conference calls for the first year with people and having people on. We weren't doing Zoom meetings, or at least not a lot. And then I saw what Bob and Daniel's doing, and how probably Bob was successful in building his organizations, and how professional these Zoom meetings are. And the key that I think, and what I really love about their model, you have all these people on here sharing their personal experiences. I think that's the most effective way to tell the story, because this does sound like pretty unbelievable stuff, okay? And it's hard for the average person to wrap their head around what's this about, how does it work? I mean, it's really unbelievable, okay? And we try to do the best we can. I mean, Dr. Cook and I, we've had this conversation many times. What is the best way for us to explain this? We're still trying to figure it out, because there's so many different things. We get a little bit closer all the time, but there's a lot of mystery here. But it's stuff that we've always had. We're just learning how to use it. In fact, this evening, I think I'm on the Zoom meeting this evening. I think I'm going to take us into a place that you're going to want to hear. But I think it's going to better explain a little bit better why this works and how we tap into it more effectively. What Dr. Cook put together here is a tool that allows the average person on the street to do this with ease, okay? There are ways to do this without Olympic arc, but it takes a lot of study and a lot of training and a lot of research to be able to tap into a little bit of this. And what Dr. Cook put together here is just absolutely amazing. All your testimonies, you wonder, how does this work? Well, you have to really boil it down to know that at the end of the day, everything is energy, and we're energy, and information is the component that we're transferring. When we take, over the years, when we look at all the nutraceuticals we've taken and all that stuff, everybody's been there. Actually, at the end of the day, our body's really harvesting the information from those nutraceuticals. And so we just happen to have, I believe, a much better mousetrap in the harvesting of that information from nutraceuticals that makes it more effective in the human body. And think of that, we're going far beyond that. We're looking at, things like, electromagnetics, and the impact that has on our health. Many of us, until that showed up on the radar in our library, many of us didn't realize that we were being negatively impacted by that. And many of us see that showing up. And when we have the ability to neutralize that. I mean, look what happened yesterday. Dr. Cook brought on board new mushrooms. Now, the things that you don't know about this mushroom stuff is, and I talked to another group yesterday about this. And that was Dr. Cook and I and 3 other doctors were on a conference call it was 3 to 4 months ago. The whole conversation happened to do with these mushrooms, okay? These were docs from very big prestigious universities and settings with a ton of research on these mushrooms that were, they weren't the kind of that you grow outside. These were grown in a pristine lab with nothing that could contaminate it. And what they discovered when they were using these mushrooms, they were having miraculous experiences with people taking them. Any almost illness you can think of, they were discussing, and the results that happened within 30 to 60 days were just absolutely amazing. Now, I hadn't heard any more about that. I know Dr. Cook was talking with these guys beyond that conversation. I was on 2 conversations with them, but beyond that, it was happening. Now, then all of a sudden, 3, 4 months, Dr. Cook's brought out some new mushrooms. Interesting, okay? I recognize some of those mushrooms in there. And so in any event, when you think of this, these are mushrooms that the reason why they were having conversations with Dr. Cook is because these mushrooms cost $2,000 a month to take for these various people who are having these issues and such. And here what we get them for free, okay? Now, the reason why people, these Dr. Cook, they realize, these are so expensive, not everybody can take them. We want to help a lot of people. Maybe we can have people take the mushrooms and reduce the amount by having the energy signatures and maybe reduce from 4,000 or 2,000 down to maybe 400. And that was the basis of their conversations. So here we have all these mushrooms now, and there happened to be 8 of them at the time, and there's 8 that show up here. Coincidence, huh? And so I just want to let you know that there's so many things that we can do here. You would think of this multiplied around the world with all the wonderful things that exist out there. You haven't heard of some of the ones that I know about there that are sitting in this reservoir inventory to come on in the future. But these are things where, and I've tried some of them. They're like some are only $400 and $500 a month to take a particular product. And I've tried them and they're phenomenal, okay? But not people can't do them. So they're in our inventory that come out in the future. So we got a lot of amazing things that we haven't yet even experienced yet. And then of course, when we move into where the technology is going beyond just the nutraceutical side of this stuff, that's when I really get excited. And I don't want to take time to discuss that now. But we have a path that's going into the future that I believe is, maybe I can talk a little bit about this tonight, but it's a path and a future that can truly change our lives, everybody on the planet. And this technology can do it. And as I sat down with Dr. Cook, explaining my vision and what I've seen based on my experience, because I see the components of what he put together can accomplish that. And and I was hoping he would say this, He says, yeah, I believe, yeah, you're right. I think we can do this. And so we're moving off in these other areas outside the nutraceutical sandbox. And just if that's all we did, it's phenomenal. But we're going way beyond that, and we're providing solutions that I believe will make we're already making a significant difference. But when you go from what we're doing now to where we're going in the future, guys, you're here at the right place at the right time, because we're in the beginning of something that I think it's going to be truly viral. And look how we deliver. We don't even charge anybody for shipping. We send it to them for free anywhere in the world. And guess what? Our Federal Express and UPS is a lot faster. We can do it instantly. Okay. So you look at all this stuff. Look at these advantages. I mean, you're here at the right place at the right time, and we haven't even begun to provide some of the solutions that we have. You're experiencing what you're experiencing, but it's so much more than that. Just hold on, because you're going to see amazing things happen in the near future. I'll turn the time back over to you guys.
All right. Hey, thanks for coming on with us, Ron. I really appreciate that, as usual. And yeah, I'm going to make the announcements, Daniel. So tonight we've got Michelle Grote. She's going to be sharing her story, and we're going to have Ron Spence doing the second part of that for Therapeutic Thursday PM edition. That'll be tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern. And then tomorrow we're going to have Mr. and Dr. Vaughn Cook himself for Formula Friday. This is a special edition. We've got many, many questions and answers, and he's gracious to be on our show again tomorrow. And then, of course, Carl with Super Boost Saturday after that. The fun never ends, but this is going to end soon. So we're going to work our way through here. So, guys, if you're taking notes, what happened is, so I started coming on the Zooms every day, and after the committed stage, well, there was a couple things that happened, as well as listening to people. Terry McKinnon's story, what was happening with Terry, because I talked to Terry before she even got on Limbic Arc, and she had a host of challenges. She shared with us last week. Rick Fenton, he says, man, it's not working for me. Well, we found out that he was taking many, prescription meds. He was full of toxins and smoked for 45 years. Rick has now been not smoking for the first time in 45 years. He's been off for over a month. So that had an effect on me. Our daughter Bethany went through childbirth using this, and her pain was subsided. And we're just looking at all this and listening to everyone's story and just going, whoa. And then you've got Gina Kelly, who comes on board, and was pretty much of a mess. But hey, Gina, just briefly come on here. I know people have heard your story, but some haven't. If you could just briefly just go through that real quick, I'd appreciate it.
Hi, thanks, Bob. And, I was listening closely to you, obviously, because I do follow success, and I see it. When I see it, I know it. So anyway, Bob, but when I definitely started with the same stage. I was very curious on a Sunday afternoon, very curious. But I went from curious to committed I woke up the next day, joined at 8 o'clock in the morning. So my curiosity was done. And within 2 hours, my neck pain was 100% gone, which I've suffered since I was 25 years old. So I can really relate, Katrina, to the husband having to rub the neck. Mike is so thrilled that he doesn't have to do that anymore. Seriously, it was a daily thing, 2 or 3 times, and he would get ugly about it. He just didn't want to do it, and I didn't blame him. But anyway, he'd do it because he's a good husband. But so that was gone. And seriously, by 1 o'clock that day, when I'd realized I hadn't taken my anxiety meds to keep my blood pressure level, I was 100% committed to this. I was like, okay, who can I tell? Not so much as a business. I was just like, everybody needs to know about this. I mean, everybody needs to feel this. I was skeptical. My husband was the worst skeptic ever. I went to him and told him, and he could see me moving my neck. I was jumping up and down with joy. And he's like, honey, it's in your head. There's no way. There is just absolutely no way that this could help you that quick. I'm like, well, it did. So I'm keeping it, whether it's in my head or not. But anyway, so then Mike, just after like a day or two looking at me, he actually gave me a compliment, told me I was looking so much better. I had a spark in my eye, and I said, it's because I have no pain. That's it, you know. And I was a stressed out mess, guys. I was a mess. Probably as bad as Carl. Seriously. I mean, maybe not as mean. No, Carl, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I kept it in a little bit better, put it that way. But I was a stressed out mess. And so when this kicked in and got a hold of my stress, my anxiety was gone. My pain was gone. And so my husband saw it. I mean, he lives with me, obviously, daily. So he's just like, okay, well, hook me up. It's always a joke, you know, hook me up. So we did. And Mike woke up 2 days later and he's like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but my shoulder pain is gone. Mike had arthritis very bad in his shoulders. So I'm like teasing him and saying, it's in your head. Yeah. It's just, what, you know, so anyway, then we got Mike on the cardiovascular because I had to listen to Carl. Seriously, like what everybody says, talking and sharing on here helps everybody so much, because I was like, okay, you know, Mike was on 4 different blood pressure medications. He was on 3 blood thinners and also a water pill. He's off the water pill. He's off of all blood thinners.
Wow.
And he is down to 1 blood pressure pill, guys, 1. Mike could not, his circulation was so bad in his legs, he couldn't move his toes. Now he can wiggle his toes. Mike couldn't walk. We've got a really long hallway. He would get halfway down the hallway, guys, and have to stop. Mike can practically run up and down that hallway. When he would go to the grocery store, he'd be hanging on the cart because his legs were so sore by the time he'd get done. Now he just buzzes right through it. No pain. You know, our journey has been unbelievable. I mean, it has just blessed us so much. I was ready to retire. I would have been probably a really stressed out, horrible, mean mess because I'd have been so bored, because I am a workaholic. This has given me purpose again. I am dedicated, seriously, 100%. I'm focused. I'm ready. I'm so committed. And I just want to share this nonstop. And that's all I do from the minute I wake up until I decide I want to quit work. You know, I'm on either with my team, helping them bring people in. I'm doing Zooms all day long, getting people, you know, situated. And this is a business, guys, that if you bring somebody in, you do have to help them. You got to help them get set up on the correct boost. Show them how to do it. I mean, it's time consuming, but it's so worth it, because if they're not having results, you know, you need to get with these people and help them, you know, figure it out, because it's worth it, because that's really what we're all about here, is helping people and turning lives around. And we are so blessed to be here. Ron Spence, I love listening to you. You are so full of information. Bob, I love you guys, Daniel, Carl. The leadership here is absolutely awesome. Our journey is just beginning. I mean, I am not only feeling better, I've got spiritual awakenings like crazy. I actually feel like I'm on a different level, which is kind of weird because I was never into that stuff, but I feel like I'm on a different level with my whole life than I was. I started February the 10th, and my life is just awesome. I used to hate getting old. I don't mind it at all. You know, it's just like it's good. The golden years are fun. They are actually good when you feel good. So anyway, I'm just so thankful to be here. I love all of you. And Bob, thanks for asking me to share. And Katrina, I can relate to that neck pain 100%. It sucks. It hurts. So thanks, guys. I love you.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on here, Gina. And another one of those people that were there. And guys, I know the time, you know, we're at the top of the hour, so I know where we're at. So I'm just going to just share just briefly. And Ron, I know I asked Ron Murray to share as well, but we're going to have to skip that. I'm sorry, Ron. But Ron had a big part of it too. 63 years of pain, the guy's totally different than he was when he first came on here too, because he doesn't have the pain and all the things that it's done for him. I mean, it's night and day. We should go back and look at those early recordings, because it's amazing what it's done for Ron. And I wanted Ron to share as well, but you know, we're just loving to share the love here. And so the other thing, guys, so the stages again were the curious stage, the interested stage, the engaged stage, the committed stage, and then the fully committed is where, you know, when I started coming on the Zooms, and now I'm kind of addicted to it. Now I'm going on daily and going, wow, this is crazy. Wow, did you hear that? Oh, and I'm learning how to use different boosts. Oh, the custom, huh? How do you set that up? You know, it sounded difficult. It wasn't. And, you know, I set that up and, you know, started getting the results from that. But then here's the sixth stage, guys, and that's the passionate stage. Okay, so that goes on beyond that. Now, here's what happened with that. You know, again, talking with Ron Spence, and then getting to know the leadership of Limbic Arc, talking to Dr. Cook, being on some calls. You know, we just had 2 days ago, we had George Wright on. George was telling us how solid the company is. And we had, you know, Dr. Cook's been on a few different calls with us now, and he'll be on again Friday. But, you know, all of this together. So the technology that doesn't make sense, we had all of these different things, you know, going on. Now it's starting to make sense. And now it's like, okay. So we had George on a couple days ago, and he said, you know, this is just the greatest wellness tool, which is what Ron Spence was just talking about. And this is just the beginning. You know, we're going to double the ingredient library here soon. It's in the works. Things are coming out. We got more boosts, and it's almost endless what we can do, or what they're doing. And so, you know, between all of these things, you know, I asked George at the end, and he says, well, George, what would you give us, you know, your final words? And he said, drive it like you stole it. And I thought that was the greatest thing. It's like, you know, because we have the keys to the kingdom here. It's like, what are we going to do with this? You know, guys, and, you know, and like Daniel said before, you know, we invite people to come to these calls, and they're not for everybody. Some people think we're nuts. They'll be on here, you know, I've seen them come and go, and, you know, whatever. And that's okay. But if you invite them to come here and they don't want to be here, then they don't belong here. That's fine. You know, you can go with that. So all of that, those 6 stages is what I've gone through, guys, and hopefully that's helpful to go through that. Thank you, everybody, for sharing that's been on here. And thanks for everybody that's shared with all the calls. Be here tonight at 9 p.m. for Michelle's story. And also, we're going to just unleash Ron and let him go off for a while. Dan, back to you.
Wow, this was the best call I've ever been on so far. I just got to sit back and take it all in. That was awesome, man. This was so cool. Yeah, thank you everybody for sharing. And the reason I say that, if someone comes here and they don't like who we are or what's going on here, they don't belong here, because we're just a bunch of people who love each other and care for each other. And if people aren't into love, then this is not for them. We just want to attract more people who want to share the love and go out there and want to help people, like all the people you heard from today and all you guys on the call right now. So if you feel like you didn't get enough of this and you want more, come back tonight. Come back at 9 p.m. Eastern right here, Quantum Nomads TV. You're going to hear from Michelle Grote and Ron Spence. It's going to be super cool, and I hope to see you there. Just remember, until then, what we can't do alone, we can do together. Bye, everybody.